While we navigate through these uncertain times, the COVID-19 situation is not only impacting us here locally, but certainly on a bigger scale in the world cycling scene. Here I'm joined by one of West Australians' favourite cyclists, pro Mitchelton Scott rider and Australian national individual time trial champion, Luke Durbridge. There he is. How are you, mate?
How are you, mate?
Very well, very well.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me on, mate.
Look, absolute pleasure. Look, as I said to you a little earlier, mate, we worry about everyone around the world at the moment, and we're in some pretty crazy times. So, look, I just wanted to touch base to, just to really, I suppose, get an idea on what's happening with you at the moment. Where are you situated? What's your current situation, and how you coping?
Yeah, well, at this moment, I'm in Girona in Spain. I have been here in full lockdown for probably 11 days, 10, 11 days. So we sort of followed suit of what happened in Italy. They sort of gradually shut things down, but then they sort of realised that the hospitals just weren't coping with the amount of cases they were having, so they fully locked down. So we can only go out to, which means no outdoor training, no, like, even walking casually. If you've got a dog, you're allowed to go outside, and if you want to go to the supermarket, you're allowed to go to the supermarket. So obviously, always go anywhere with a shopping bag. And that's about it, really. So they sort of, we don't really know how long it's going to be. They've sort of said a month at this moment of full lockdown. So as you can imagine, in Girona, there's a extensive amount of professional cyclists and athletes. So you start telling them they can't train outdoors, and they don't know when they'll be racing again. Then it's a tricky time. But I think for us, it's a tricky time for everyone, and no one on this earth is actually not suffering from what's happening. So for me, I'm just trying to do a bit of Zwifting, bit of ergo, trying to keep fit. But at this moment, we don't actually know when we're racing again, Glenn. So that also makes it quite difficult.
Look, it does. And look, when did you sort of learn about your isolation option coming? You said you've been there. You've been down for 11 days now. But so you've raced a couple of pro tour races end of Feb and start of March. And then sort of when you got through that stuff in Belgium, were you back in training back in Spain when all this sort of stuff started?
It was all a bit of uncertainty. I think we did 2 one-day races in Belgium. I'd been up in altitude for 3 weeks doing a training camp leading into the Classics period, which is obviously a big focus of mine. And then I came back from altitude camp and we went to Belgium. And then when we were in Belgium, we started to hear bit of rumours that, the virus is getting a little bit more serious, and Italy was starting to see, a massive amount of cases, and then they started locking certain areas in Italy down. So a few of our Italian riders were opting not to go back to Italy just in case they couldn't get out for races. And so we were sort of all in a bit limbo. I returned back from Belgium and to find out that we were pulling out of Strade Bianche, Milan San Remo, and Tirreno Adriatico, which is a big block in Italy, and also pulling out of Paris-Nice. And we were obviously, that's when it started to hit home with like, oh shit, this is actually probably what happens. Everyone gets that sort of reality moment when it really directly affects them. Could be not being able to go to your local coffee shop soon, or go to your restaurant, or go to the shops, or anything like that. So when they sort of said the races were off, we were just like, shit, don't I really know what to do.
Yeah,
so the team sort of got together, and we started to do like a training camp in Spain to replicate a race, because in our minds the Classics are still going ahead, so we need to get prepared. So a lot of people are coming to Spain because they're thinking Spain's a good place to train, the sun's out, and lots of people here. So a lot of riders were coming into Spain and training, and then we're at training camp, and then we got this sort of phone call to say, not a phone call, but one of the doctors had heard heard some information that they were going to actually shut down, like lock people in the regions that they were in, and just make sure that you have to stay inside and not allowed to even be outside. So we were probably staying about 200k away from Girona.
Yep.
And so that night we packed up our bags. Next morning we all rode together back to Girona, 200k. And that's the last road ride I did. That was nearly 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So we got back to Girona and just sort of went down to the shops and, bought some food and locked in, and then we just keep finding out more and more information from the team, which the team's been really great. Obviously putting our health first, and now they're just saying, okay, we're going to come back racing in April, and then April was cancelled. Now we're going to become racing in May. Then the Giro is now cancelled or postponed.
Postponed, yep.
June is something that might be reality, but then now we hear about the Olympics, and then there's the Tour de France that obviously the Olympics is being postponed as well. So I think at this moment it's just about looking after yourself mentally, keeping healthy, because it's not something you really need to lock down and be like ultra focused and do some really hard training, because I really can't see us racing before June, July, August even, so we just got to save those mental bullets for now, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, look, it's a crazy situation, and everyone's gone into this sort of, and then look, we're a little bit behind you really as well. So obviously, Spain has been a week or two ahead of where we're out in Western Australia, and we're not in lockdown as any in any demand at the moment. But I'm sure it's coming, and I'm sure you're in touch with your family and keeping in touch with everyone via these types of mediums now. But so the team has been pretty proactive around the Zwift stuff and that. So that's been that's obviously some pretty cool stuff that you guys have been doing, simulation type riding, like you mentioned.
Yeah, no, the team's been really good. We've done a lot of Zwift setups in terms of organising group rides so the fans can still connect with us and ride on that. So I sort of encourage anyone that sees those events coming up. We're going to start them again next week, every Wednesday and every Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday is a group ride with the team, so
cool.
Anyone who wants to come along, jump on and join us, which is great. It's just trying to give back to some of the fans, and obviously no one's got any sport to watch at the moment, even with the AFL now being stopped as well. So it's a tricky time. We're all just trying to support each other through it, because the sport's going to take a big hit, economy's going to take a big hit, everyone's going to take a big hit. It's just trying to support everyone through it at this moment. Yeah,
for sure. And look, we really appreciate you giving us a little bit of time. As I said, at the end of the day, staying focused, and everyone, as I said, we even back here where we're talking about reduction in group rides, and when people can and can't go out, and it's really difficult to even give people guidelines in that area, because as I said, we're not quite as advanced as where you are at the moment, full lockdown. So everyone's learning this process and getting an understanding of what that's going to look like, whether it be this weekend, another week's time.
I think the biggest thing that's going to sort of say is that and obviously you've seen a lot in Oz, people rushing out and panic buying and things like that. What I've heard in the news, but it's more just getting yourself set up at home, because it's in terms of home trainers, like I would suggest to people to go out and get a stationary setup of some sort, because at this, it's not necessarily that they don't want you riding. It's to do with the stress on the hospitals. Like you can't afford to have anyone out on the bike crashing and breaking collarbone, have to go to the emergency department. They just can't handle that thing at the moment. So that's sort of you have a bit of a social responsibility to stay indoors, stay safe, stay in terms of maybe if you go riding, with one other person and you're on the bike path or something like that. But just try and eliminate any risk of that factor, because just the hospitals and the medical staff are doing such an amazing job. They just can't handle the extra stress of general crashes and general things that happen when you're on your bike. So
we don't want to be
just go and get yourself set up and stay at home for a while, and hopefully we can sort of ease the burden for them and yeah, who knows what the world's going to look like in a couple of months, but hopefully come out of it strong. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, mate, stay focused. As I said, I know that that everyone in Australia, I mean, look, the world's a big place, and but when we can actually sit down and have a chat, online, it's pretty exciting. So, mate, as I said, on behalf of everyone back here, as well as certainly all our members here in WA, mate, we wish you all the best, and hope like hell that we can get through this thing pretty quick.
Yeah, appreciate that, mate. Thanks for having me on, and thanks very much.